A book is like running a marathon. I always say this, a book is like running a marathon. You start off, you're very enthusiastic, you think this is a great idea, you've been training for it. And after about mile 10, you think, why on earth did I decide to do this? This is completely insane. I will never finish this book. For me, the middle third of a book is the hardest because you're trying to keep your pace up. You really just want to get to the end. And so the middle third of a book is very hard. So you really need to know where you're going and what you're at. And again, I've said this before, but it's so important. Be passionate about your topic and your characters. One mistake I made was I went away on holidays, and while I was away, something happened to all the computers and they all broke down and I lost all my work. So now I always email myself before I go away, or even at the weekends and everything. So back up your work, because it is really heartbreaking when you lose X amount of words. So always back up your work.
I like notebooks and I like index cards. They anchor it somehow in the, and it's what I was talking about, to keep your morale up and to stop you panicking, you know, because if you go out of the house and you think, oh, the book is back there dying and I'm in a pub, this is wrong, this is terrible. But no, because you've had an idea and you've written it on an index card, and that proves that you're a good person. And so, you know, you will be rewarded, and you're not going to destroy your own book by your carelessness. One way to motivate yourself is every day is to read over what you've done the previous day maybe. And sometimes, because I rarely outline, I have to keep reading this stuff to remember what's going on, and the stories are quite complicated. And in rereading, you rewrite. So what you're doing is kind of good in a way, in that you're redrafting. The two things are momentum and will. Okay, at a certain point, you know, sometimes it's fun. Sometimes you get free gifts, you get happy accidents, you get things that propel you forward. You realize you've been writing for an hour and a half without even thinking about it. But that's not every day. And you need a sense of momentum. Look, I've been a very good boy today. I've done my 500 or my 1,000 or my 1,500 words. I am the kind of person who is worthy of writing a book. And those little tricks that keep you moving forward, but also the will to say, I will do this. I am not going to have that first beer or that cup of coffee or that square of chocolate until I get my word count done. And then I will. Then I will reward myself. Get up early. Get up before you know quite what you're doing. I mean, like, I wouldn't have a cup of coffee. I would have tea. Coffee would wake me up too much. I would go, it's 5 o'clock, I'm awake, I'm insane. And you're completely blocked, rather than I don't even know what I'm doing, I may as well write something, and your head is not fully formed. So you're not controlling yourself. You're not, you know, that's the most important, that is absolutely the most important thing, is once you've thought about it and you've written down some ideas and you've a rough idea what you're doing, but then when you're doing it, don't be standing over your own shoulder going, that's useless, that's rubbish, that's no good. You know, let it go. Try and get in touch with your subconscious. Try and get in touch with that part of you that just does it anyway. Because if it's going to be any good, that's the bit that's going to make it good.
Before I write the book, I sit down with my editor and we have a brainstorming session. And that's amazing, because even just by talking through ideas and stuff, the book can often end up being completely different. Or, for example, I wrote a book about breast cancer, and initially the main character was going to have breast cancer and it was all going to be about her. And in the end, it absolutely wasn't. Her sister ended up being the person with breast cancer, and the main character of the book, had a completely different experience and story. So, you know, I think you have to be open to moving your ideas and your stories and your characters around. That don't get fixated on it. If it's not working, it's just not working for a reason. So, you know, don't be too black and white about it. Allow a lot of room for movement and maneuver. And if it's not working, you're just going to have to put it aside, and you may come back to it. It may end up being a great book 3 books down the line when you're ready for it. But it's very important that when you sit down, that you're happy with your idea, you're happy with your characters, you're happy with where you're going.